This is The Weekly on ClickOrlando.com with Justin Warmoth.
Good morning, I'm Justin Warmoth. It was a week of protests outside the Supreme Court and around the country over a leaked draft opinion published by Politico that revealed the High Court was likely to overturn Roe v. Wade. The court confirmed the draft was authentic, but made clear that a final opinion on abortion rights has not yet been issued. This morning, Congressman Darren Soto is here to discuss the potential ruling, as well as inflation, and whether he believes the Biden administration is doing enough to curb the high cost of living. Congressman, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure, Justin. Thanks for having me.
So another week of big news. Perhaps the biggest is the leaked draft from the Supreme Court when it comes to Roe v. Wade. First off, your reaction to the contents, and then secondly, your reaction to something from the Supreme Court being leaked.
If true, this would be an attack on freedom across America. This would be the first time in the court's history that they take away a fundamental right. And the right to choose is in danger, but also based upon the reasoning and citations, the right to marriage equality for the LGBTQ community, the right to birth control, the right to biracial marriages, all are put in question by a Supreme Court that was nominated by two presidents who lost the popular vote and rammed through justices to create this new conservative majority. So very concerned about the radical agenda coming out of the U.S. Supreme Court.
And then when it comes to the side of things from the Supreme Court and a document like this being leaked to the press, this is unprecedented. What do you make of that?
It is unprecedented, and it shouldn't have been leaked. But here we are, and we've had Chief Justice John Roberts confirm its authenticity. So we do need to have an investigation of how it got leaked, but we also need to gear up for the potential of the greatest loss of freedom in over 50 years.
Your Republican colleagues seem to think that they haven't really addressed the nature or what is in that draft opinion when it comes to leaving up to the states. But what they have said is that whoever did leak it should be prosecuted. Is that something you agree with?
Absolutely, they should be prosecuted. But I'll note that our two senators don't want to say anything because this is already supported by Americans 2-1 to maintain Roe v. Wade. They've been pushing for this for years and probably never thought they'd get to this day. But here we are, where women across the country will be condemned to being second-class citizens. So of course they're going to focus on the leak and not on the substance of a giant loss of freedom in Florida and the nation.
Like a lot of proponents of this have said, this is not going to stop people from getting abortions, but it will stop people from getting safe abortions. Can you touch more on that?
Absolutely. Abortion still happened before even the law changed in 1973. It's just they happened in back alleys, and there's nightmarish stories of what happened. And think about all the folks who either were victims of rape or had a child that wasn't going to live. All these difficult decisions that we could run through of murky scenarios. That the bottom line is the government shouldn't be involved in this, and that's why the Supreme Court saw this as part of the right to privacy. We have a right to privacy in the Florida Constitution, yet you wouldn't know it by the 15-week ban thereafter that the Florida legislature just passed. And when you think about nearly 22 million Floridians of varying different political philosophies and ideas of liberty, this would be a strike against our way of life here in the Sunshine State.
Another big thing that happened this week, the Orlando Immigration Office saw a huge log jam, something that you went and saw it. That was last week and into this week, which has now been resolved. What happened there, and how did it get resolved?
Sure. So first, we've seen the Orlando ICE office get about 3 times as many immigrants as they normally get. It has a lot to do with the fact that a lot of these immigrants have family here in Central Florida already, particularly in the Venezuelan and Haitian communities. And we also have very low unemployment and a worker shortage. So people are coming in to fill the demand and help Central Florida's economy keep running. But because of that, there were some short-term and long-term fixes that had to happen. First, they prioritized vulnerable immigrants, pregnant women, families with children, the elderly, and those with disabilities. The ICE office got more proactive with the line to see who needed to be there that day, who could be there in the future. They also allowed for folks to stand in line in the shade. We know it's hot here in Central Florida, but going forward, we're fighting to get more personnel and more resources, and for them to continue to see new reforms to their scheduling system. We don't need to schedule hundreds of people for one particular day if only 30 to 50 to maybe 100 people can be processed. So our immigrant communities deserve the respect. They're coming to unite with families, many of whom are citizens here in Central Florida, and so we're going to continue to work on this issue.
Speaking of Central Florida and Florida in general, recently a headline that came across that surprised me as a lifelong Floridian, I'm sure it surprised you, that Florida is now the least affordable state to live in the country. When you saw that, I mean, did it shock you, or is that something that you're not surprised that it's gotten to this point?
It didn't shock me because we're now in an international market. We have folks coming down from the north and up from the Caribbean. COVID for a while stopped people from being able to come, and now it's been a fast-paced trend, and we've had slow amounts of housing being built during that time period, again, because of COVID-19. Look, Central Florida is a great place to live, and the world now knows it fully. And there's things we need to do. We brought back $1.3 billion from the American Rescue Plan for both housing, mortgage assistance that can be applied for at ourflorida.com. We're working on public-private partnerships. We saw Universal and Disney announce over 1,000 unit developments for affordable housing. We also need to improve our transportation system by expanding Sunrail and fixing I-4, have the expansion go beyond down to Polk County all the way up through Volusia, because that'll allow people to live further out and have a reasonable commute as well. And overall, look, we're going to have to build more houses and more condos and apartments, but we're going to have to do that smart by building in a dense way around these Sunrail stations in these urban clusters. But there's also another side of the story to tell. About 2/3 of my constituents live in homeowner occupied dwellings. So we did see, while we have to do a lot for our renters, a huge increase in generational wealth for your average Floridian living in the district, owning a home. So it wasn't all bad, but we do have our challenges.
And despite inflation, record home prices, and skyrocketing rents, Orange County Mayor Jerry Demings is pushing for a 1-cent sales tax to improve transportation. Coming up, Congressman Soto will tell us why he thinks voters should vote in favor of the tax hike in November.
This is The Weekly on ClickOrlando.com with Justin Warmoth.
Welcome back as we continue our conversation with Congressman Darren Soto. In this portion of the conversation, we'll touch on redistricting, inflation, and the governor's battle with Disney. But first, the transportation tax proposal in Orange County. Orange County Mayor Jerry Demings has the transportation tax that will now be up to voters. Is that something that you would tell voters in Orange County, which is part of your district, a portion of it? Would you recommend that they vote in favor of that despite inflation, despite the price of gas, and despite the high cost of living?
We support the mayor's vision and urge voters in Orange County to vote yes. This is about fixing the traffic, which will actually combat things like inflation by reducing the need to drive and to be able to pay gas prices as they are right now. Even as President Biden is releasing 1 million barrels of oil a day from the strategic reserve, with the war in Ukraine, that's still going to be a challenge for a while. But this is about the longer term vision. This is about expanding Sunrail to connect to the airport, to the parks, so that so many hundreds of thousands of theme park workers and tourist workers can get to their job. This is about making sure to expand I-4 all the way up through Volusia and down through to Polk County. This is about expanding links to help work in this synergy with Orange County. And we're about to have the high-speed rail come in as well, Brightline coming from Miami to Orlando. So we're going to see already reductions in commutes based upon the I-4 Ultimate project of about 5 to 10 minutes, but we need to continue further. Our quality of life is on the line. If we do nothing, we'll see commutes go to 20, 30, 40, 50 minutes for folks just living in Orange County. So if you want to improve the quality of life, measure that against what you're going to pay for gas, the time sitting in traffic, the time away from your home. And look, the business community and the labor community is both supportive of it for a reason. This is about jobs, quality of life, and improving commute times for Orange County. If we don't do it, then we'll see folks seeing a declining quality of life, longer commutes, and really wrecking a great place to live by not taking this and grabbing the bull by the horns. Republicans would blame what we're seeing, cost of groceries, inflation, just inflation in general, plus gas prices on top of that. They would blame a lot of that on the Biden administration. Do you see it that way? And do you believe the Biden administration is doing enough to combat? So we know that COVID-19 is the main cause of inflation. By shutting down a lot of our productivity over the years, we had nearly 1 million Americans die. We also saw that wreak havoc on the supply chains that also had an effect. It also shows that we should be making more things in America again. We also saw some troubling price gouging by major companies. Oil companies will make almost half their profit in the first quarter of this year. So record profits along with record gas prices is a real disgrace for the nation. President Biden is, as I mentioned, releasing 1 million barrels of oil a day from the strategic reserve. We'll see other areas like flights and cars and goods come down. I expect we'll see a downtick in inflation for the month of April when the new numbers come out. But things like food and gas are going to be the most challenging because those are affected also by the war in Ukraine. Ukraine is, along with Russia, are two big oil producers and wheat producers as well as fertilizer. So even as I expect other prices to start ticking down along with the Fed managing rates in a way to slow down the economy just a little bit, we know we're going to have longer term challenges with food and with gas. And these are things we're going to continue to fight to lower the cost for Central Florida's families. We saw the U.S. economy shrink in the first quarter. If that happens again, then that signals a recession. Is that how you see the next quarter playing out? Is that what you're hearing? So we're going to look at it by what the numbers actually are. There was the Great Recession where we had a devastation in Florida for 4 years, had unemployment up to 13, 14%. And that's a little different than having two adjustments of a small nature. Because look, both these things happen at once. You have to contract the economy just a little bit to bring down inflation, cool off the economy a little bit. We revved hot and we got the economy going big time because the American Rescue Plan, when unemployment was over 20% in parts of my district just over a year ago, and now we're down to below 4%. Immigration's another part of it. We talked about earlier in your program, getting more workers to Central Florida. It's going to be a key part for that worker shortage. And so we can do a glide path down in an easy way to get to a more healthy area where we have strong job growth and good employment as well as reducing inflation. It's a balancing act, but it's one that we can do with President Biden, the Congress, and the Federal Reserve at the helm. Certainly be a topic as we head into midterms. And speaking of, you will have a new district, I guess you could call it that. A lot of the same, but we have redrawn congressional districts here in the state of Florida. Your district prior to was the most populous in the state of Florida. It has now been cut in half. What do you make of the new makeup of District 9 and the process behind that, what happened at the state legislature? So as you mentioned, we had 40% growth. That was the fastest growing district in the nation in the current Florida's 9th congressional district. It does shrink down to all of Osceola, my home county. I live in Kissimmee, as well as a lot more of Orange County, an area that I lived in for over 10 years. And then we just are reduced down to a small part of Polk County in Poinciana. Look, the process was the worst I've ever seen it. We saw Governor DeSantis eradicate 2 African-American access seats, including the one currently held by Val Demings, in blatant violation of the Florida Constitution. And they did it at the last minute to try to avoid challenges. So they are trying to screw over voters across this nation and across the state by trying to squeeze and pack Democrats in a few seats and gerrymander this state. And while you'll see, and it may have some short-term success, this map will be struck down, in my estimation, before 2024, and voters will get to decide in 2022 how they feel about the governor violating the Constitution and the legislature going along with it.
On the topic of something else that has happened, I haven't had a chance to speak with you since, but the DeSantis versus Disney, what's the drama there, the saga? I don't know what part we're in, but Reedy Creek has now been voted on, and other special districts in the state dissolved. And I'd like to hear your take on the ramifications you think that has, not only on Disney World, but on the folks who live in Central Florida.
The governor is on a radical crusade against our top employer in Central Florida. And in the fallout, we'd see taxes go up by about $2,000 per homeowner in Orange and Osceola County as a result of this. This is not about public safety. This is not about promoting tourism, our top industry. This is about a rivalry over his radical social agenda of banning books, of attacking the LGBTQ community, about attacking the minorities such as the Hispanic community that I'm a part of, the African American community. I never thought I'd see the day, because Republicans always try to say that they're supportive of business, but this is as against jobs and as tax raising as I've ever seen. And look, we Democrats, we're about the economy. We're about trying to promote prosperity, fixing the traffic, and improving healthcare and education, getting more higher paid jobs for the region, protecting the environment. So this cultural war is a ridiculous distraction from real issues the governor should be working on, lowering property taxes and fixing affordable housing. And instead, he's distracting people with these cultural wars that are totally unnecessary for diverse Central Florida.
And by the way, I asked Congressman Soto about the Democratic primary for governor, and he said he'll endorse whichever candidate comes out on top in August. For more information on the topics we discussed this morning, just head to clickorlando.com/weekly. I'm Justin Warmoth. Have a great Sunday and a happy Mother's Day.